Oh my gosh. I'm gonna tell you the part that was so exciting for me is during the time that I was preparing this particular book. God gave me the instructions on what to do, and I had oh my gosh, a tragedy that happened right after I finished the photo shoot and everything. And so I went through a whole nother, 9 months, not knowing exactly what was going to happen, not knowing if I still had purpose, not knowing if I really wanted to walk in my purpose, not knowing if I would ever love again, if I ever wanted to receive love again. Like I went through all of these things. This was after God gave me the vision, not knowing exactly what he wanted me to share, what to say, but he always give me a name, always give me a name. And my first book is True Shades of Him. Of course, it's not talking about the man. Of course, it's an acronym as well. But he took me from him to her, and her actually allowed me to deal with me. And so, like you actually share sweeping those things up under the rug, I was the one that ended up tripping over the rug. And so I was so inquisitive that I wanted to look up under the rug, not knowing that there were some things up under that rug that needed to be dealt with, that did not belong up under that rug. And so those were the things that started to bother me. And so in creating not just this book, and after those 9 months, I thought I was ready, but God actually revealed to me that he want me to walk individuals through their healing process. Not just, like you said earlier, we actually get the books, we write them, we're so excited about them, then they end up in our closet, if not in the back trunk of our car. And so I said, God, I want something more than that. I want individuals to experience who you are through me, even if it's just a conversation, whatever it is. And so God gave me a vision to create a workbook. And so I have a workbook that actually goes with this book and also my first book as well, along with a few workshops that I'm actually putting together for the readers as well. But the most phenomenal part is when I tell you I've gotten so much support, not just as far as, okay, she wrote another book, but the biggest thing is people have watched me experience so many different things. Some of my friends were like, girl, it had to be God that put us in position, because I thought I was praying until I met you. And so they're like, I had to learn how to pray all over again to access heaven on your behalf. And so I realized that's how much God loved me, to put the right people in place to help me. But when I tell you the response from family, from friends, just being excited and just being a part of the journey, because I didn't want individual, I just wrote a book and this is it. No, I wanted others to know that my story is your story. Your story is my story. I want you to see yourself and my story. Even if you don't see yourself, it may be somebody else that God may put in your life to help, that you could actually help them by sharing my story with them. But the response actually have been phenomenal, especially with the book bundle with, I call them my twins. My last children, of course, were phenomenal twin girls. And ever since then, anytime God put something as far as in my space or maybe an assignment, it always come in doubles and triples since he allowed me to give birth in the physical with the twins. So I'm really, like I said, I'm really excited about this project. And it's, like I said, it's just not a book. It's a project. It's an assignment to continue on to encourage, empower, and inspire the readers.
It sounds like it's actually a ministry that is actually needed, especially in our community. And even what the world is going through right now with systematic racism, what have you, we have to be honest with ourselves and address the issues that's in our own communities. Yes. And previously you shared how people judge you based off of how you responded to a situation. And as you know, I'm a very tall individual, and I can remember all the time people walking past me, people that I don't know, were like, baby, you need to smile. First of all, I ain't your baby. And then, and then it's so interesting to me because in the workplace, people smiled a lot, but people talked about them behind their backs. But at the end of the day, you never know what people are going through until you intentionally desire to build healthy relationships with them and understanding where that is. And for everybody, it's not the same. Just because me and you, we're Black, but that doesn't mean we're the same. We're different in a whole lot of ways. But some of the things that we could build upon is the fact that, one, we're authors, we're females, and our stories do connect. And the fact that you have a passion, you know, not for your readers just to purchase your book, but you actually have the heart to want them to walk through, continue to hear your story, and hopefully at some point they want to tell their story, because I think that's a lot of generational curses that can be broken. And then at the same time, we could find a lot of understanding where we could come to the perspective. Everybody's different, and it's up to us to ask the right questions, to be clear, to have the real vision of who that person is and not put them in a box.
Exactly.
So now that you have taken your books and you created a workbook, have you had any classes?
I'm actually preparing. I'm preparing for that right now, mainly because I wanted to use some time to, of course, like you were sharing earlier, as far as the marketing, but more so than anything, connect. Of course, I sent out emails, connect with individuals who are actually partnered with, or God actually connected me 2 years ago, and they were basically, hey, when you finish your next book, let me know. And so I wanted to make sure, as far as relationship, because I think sometimes we're doing so many different things, but we forget to connect and build relationship. And so you know about the dependent side, you know about the independent side, but God created us to be interdependent. And so as far as community, we need each other. We just have to find out what it is that you bring to the table, what you offer, what you could actually help. And I usually call it, in workshops that I have, potluck. We all could bring something to the table. And that way, when we all bring something to the table, we're being uniquely who we are and who we were created to be. We all can eat, right? And so that's what I wanted to do as far as the workshops and the webinars. But I didn't want to do too much at one time that I actually missed the connection with my readers and individuals who God allowed to be a part of the community that He actually sent to me, that particular audience that I'm actually called to. I didn't want to miss them, because a lot of times we're doing all these different things and we're missing individuals, especially with the pandemic and everything that's actually going on. People are wondering, is God real, right? Do anybody have testimonies? Are we going to ever come out of this? It's, but when you've actually had this call on your life, we always have ups and downs, right? We never know, because it's no longer about us. It's about God. And so moving us out of the way and allow God to move through us. And God, of course, we're led by God. Sometimes when you've actually come from a place, for me, my background was, hey, listen, let's go do it. Now it's like, no, I can't do it unless God actually sends me. And like, no, we got to do it. No, honey, I've been at the feet of the Lord too many times, coming back to say, Lord, wait a minute, you going to meet me down here. I'm already down here. So I had to learn to allow God to lead me first. So that's why I wanted to make sure I'm connecting with my audience. And also, when people actually says, as far as myth, a family don't support, that's not true. And so it's sometimes it's not maybe your blood family, but for me, I can say my blood family has been very supportive. Even though I was actually sent to Atlanta and they were still here in Memphis, they're very supportive. They want to know what you're doing, what you're actually working on. But God had me in that season where He actually had me hidden until it was time to actually pull the curtains back. And so I could actually say, this is time for that. So I've been pretty much moving, not in my timing, but of course, God's timing. So of course, with emails, messages I received, I've actually have to turn down a lot of engagements because it was not God's timing for me to actually share or move forward. So, but yes, I'm really looking forward to the workshops, because I really want to help individuals be free. I want to help them get free from whatever it is that they're dealing with.
And I want to thank you for, because I don't take people's time, I don't take it for granted that you took the time to be able to come and share, on my platform, because it's always my desire that, because when I came into the literary industry, if you will, one of the things that I often felt, it was a thick wall of competition. I get it that we're all at the same venue, and it could be 100 authors, and that participant, if you will, come in, they got 100 choices to choose, because we know they're not going to buy everybody's book. But that doesn't mean that we compete with one another I'm more on the ministry side and the heart. I want to know when I'm talking to people and I find out what they're going through and what they're looking for. Hey, if they were saying that they had some issues and it didn't have anything to do with my book, I might direct them to you. That doesn't take anything away from me, because I truly believe that what I put out, I'm also going to get back. So at the same time, I wanted to encourage authors to always think about ways to get your books out there. It wasn't necessarily about money, but I truly want to believe that God gave you a vision and a reason to write the books. Because I think about the Bible. Can we only imagine if the Bible wasn't written, where would we be? Wow. So we're just another chapter or another book of the equation to a book, and not to compare the Bible to what we have written, but at the same time, we're being vessels being used by God, and He knows already the people who need to read our book. So let's take competition out. So I commend you on your courage to deal with topics or situations that sometimes you don't hear us talking about, because, well, for whatever reason, where people feel ashamed or looked down upon, among other things. But you knew it wasn't nobody but God and His strength to allow you to now start, peeling back the layers or uncovering the rug and dealing with those issues. So when we come to the topic about follow up with your readers, lives are being changed because of this experience. So share with me, if you will, as it relates to, have you read upon somebody who have written your book, but they still having that challenge, that fight of dealing with their issues? Because to a certain degree, feedback is like a bad word to people. People don't want to know the truth.